Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. The European Union has called for maximum restraint in Kosovo as tensions between the government and Serbia intensify. It called on all sides to contribute to a political solution. NATO forces in Kosovo reported hearing gunfire on Sunday. Our Balkans correspondent Guy Delony has this report.
After weeks of escalating tension between Serbia and Kosovo, the sabre rattling is louder than ever. Belgrade has placed troops on high alert following media claims that Pristina is preparing an attack on majority Serb areas in North Kosovo. The government in Pristina has made no comment about the allegations, but it's previously accused Serbia's president, Aleksandar Vučić, of playing games to stir up trouble. The European Union has been attempting to mediate. It's calling for maximum restraint and immediate action, and for the leaders of Serbia and Kosovo to personally contribute to a political solution.
The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says 9 million people in the country remain without electricity as a result of repeated Russian attacks on the national power grid. In his nightly video address, he said, while repair workers had reconnected many people in recent days, power shortages and blackouts remained a problem. He said the authorities were already looking to the future.
I've held a special meeting with government officials regarding the situation in the energy and infrastructure spheres. We're preparing for the next year, and not only for the winter months. There are threats that we have to eliminate. There are steps that need to be taken, and the state will definitely take them.
Russia's foreign minister has accused the authorities in Kyiv of attempting to drag the United States and other NATO powers deeper into what he calls the whirlpool of conflict. Sergei Lavrov told the Russian news agency TASS that such a strategy risked escalating the crisis, adding it was important to prevent catastrophe. A report from the British-based charity Christian Aid says extreme weather driven by climate change has cost the world billions of dollars this year, as well as killing and displacing millions of people, particularly in the poorest nations. Here's Kat Wiener.
10 disasters, including the floods that devastated Pakistan in June and Hurricane Ian, which struck the United States and Cuba in September, each cost more than $3 billion. But Christian Aid says the cost of climate disasters cannot be measured in money alone. It cites East Africa, where a severe drought has pushed tens of millions of people to the brink of famine, while floods in West Africa killed 600 people and displaced 1 million more. It says such events underline the importance of the financial support agreed at COP27 for people in developing countries suffering huge losses from a climate crisis they have not caused.
BBC News. Winter storms across the United States are now known to have killed at least 60 people. The city of Buffalo in New York State has been worst hit. 27 bodies have been recovered. More are expected to be found as cars are dug out from the snow. Kristen Mirand is a news reporter in Buffalo.
The fact that monster snow trucks and fire trucks are getting stuck in the snow speaks volumes. I was actually able to venture out of the news station today for the first time in 4 days, and I was able to explore a little bit more of what this storm did to our entire area. And it's car after car stranded in the streets. 4-way lane streets have now turned to 1-lane or 2-lane streets because of just the cars that are just left there.
Many shops stayed shut on Monday as blizzards blocked roads and cut power lines. Families were left struggling to find food and medicines. The Belarusian exiled opposition leader Svetlana Tikhanovskaya has condemned a court's ruling against opponents of President Alexander Lukashenko, calling it shameful. The court in Minsk sentenced in absentia a former Olympic swimmer, Alexander Hilarsimenia, to 12 years in prison for harming Belarusian national security by calling for sanctions against the country, including a boycott of sporting events. The court also sentenced the political activist Alexander Opeykin, who heads a foundation which supports detained athletes. The head of the American spacecraft and satellite communications company SpaceX says they're close to having 100 active Starlink internet terminals in Iran. The billionaire Elon Musk had promised to bring the internet network to Iran after the authorities in Tehran imposed access restrictions to the web amid protests around the country. Instagram, WhatsApp, the Google Play Store, and virtual private networks have all been restricted, but Starlink can provide internet access. BBC World News.